Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, have I got a good one for you where I break down Drew Barrymore's interview with Meghan Markle, and I picked up on so many things. To be honest, there's possibly going to be a part 2 because there was so much in that one interview, especially the moment when Drew revealed the Princess Diana photograph that she was in. Meghan did not like this at all. So if you want to join me in this type of video where I break down body language and behaviour using my 20 years experience as a UK therapist and actually over 20 years experience in the field, understanding and training with body language, behaviour, not just looking at what's being said, but also what's not being said, reading between the lines. So if this is the type of video for you, then grab your cuppa, sit back, relax, and let's get into this video. So for those of you who've known me for a while, you know that my son has come back from Australia, but he has left today because he's now going to Canada because his partner, Abby, lives in Canada. So Canada, please look after my son. I'm devastated. I've had a good old cry. He left at nearly 4 o'clock this morning. So I'm very tired, so please bear with me. However, I feel a little bit better because I'm off to Glastonbury tomorrow for 2 weeks. I will be still doing videos, so don't panic everybody. Like emails where people are like, where are you? Have you gone? Have you left the channel? Have you left the world? No, I'm still here, still going to be doing videos. I just won't be doing as many, but I will be doing them and keeping up with what is going on. So yeah, so a little bit bittersweet as I will be missing my son, but he's in Iceland at the moment. He's at a 24-hour stopover in Iceland, so he's going to the Blue Lagoon over there. Very envious. It looks absolutely stunning and beautiful. He's already sent me some pictures. I'll put a picture up here that he sent me already. And it just absolutely looks stunning over there. He's in Reykjavik, I believe, is it called? So yeah, let's get into this interview. I'm starting to wonder if that it feels like Meghan is now almost like being set up now to fail, because I do not understand how anyone could have watched that interview. I even believe that Drew Barrymore wasn't buying what she was selling, because Drew, most people that know Drew, she's very sort of touchy-feely. Even though she was in the sort of beginning with Meghan, but there were just certain signs that when Meghan was talking that it just felt to me that Drew was just like, I'm not sure I'm buying this, because the stories that were coming out were absolutely beyond crazy. And I know that a lot of you kind of say, well, why is she doing this? Well, I'm going to explain a bit more after I have shown you some of the clips that I have spotted. I'm sure there are more, but I'm just going to cover these ones for now, and then I might do a part 2 and cover other ones. But this is what I have seen, and this is what I have picked apart. Please go and follow me on TikTok and Instagram as well, because you do get more things from me over there as well. I don't just sort of carbon copy what I do here and put it over there. I do a lot more over on TikTok, a lot more over on Instagram as well. I appreciate them. Not all of you are going to be over there, but if you are, yeah, go and follow me. The links are in the description box below. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, so you don't miss future uploads as well. And also stay to the end, because I've got some interesting information at the end as well. So yes, so here is the first bit of footage that I found. And this is the bit, the Diana one is coming. So this one, she talks about I'm just going to let you hear it for yourself. And yes, unfortunately, I understand that people don't like her voice. There will be times when I can mute her voice and I will give you the captions. However, I think it's important to understand that sometimes it's the pitch. You sort of need to hear the pitch. So what I will say is, I've got the captions there. If you do not want to hear her voice, mute her, because then you can mute and you don't have to hear her voice. So any of the stuff that's slowed down, you're going to hear me speaking. The other parts, it's going to be her, but you'll see captions are there, so you can see what she's saying, but you don't have to listen to her voice. So that way I'm pleasing everybody. So that way then, if you don't want to hear her voice, you can mute that part. If you do, then you've got it there. That way then hopefully it keeps everybody happy. Because I see it in the comments. I get people that say, I don't want to hear her voice. I get people say, I want to hear her voice because I need to hear it to kind of understand what's the way something's being said. As a content creator, it's very difficult to please everybody, but I think this is the way I can do it. So yes, I will keep her voice, but you can mute it. And when you mute it, you will see the caption, so you will still see what she's saying. And I'm going to discuss them at the end.
We'll drop off and pick up for the kids. We make it a point, at least, I don't know, during the week, our days are busy with meetings, but we have lunch together every day and have that middle of the day catch up of what's been going on, how are your meetings? Okay, great, back to it. But we just make it a point to date each other. We'll drop off and pick up for the kids. We make it a point, at least, I don't know, during the week, our days are busy with meetings, but we have lunch together every day.
When Meghan discusses the children, she looks away. She doesn't give eye contact, which is very unusual. I think she then looks up to see if Drew's buying what she's saying, but she looks away very quickly. She looks up here. There is no recollection of authentic memory. This is a recollection of generally a fabricated narrative. So she's looking up, eye blinking, eye blocking, looking down, shaking her head no when it's discussing something that would be a yes. Busy with meetings every day, again, shaking her head no. Have lunch together, shaking her head no. I think this is a story she wants to believe is true, but it's not, it's fantasy.
And have that middle of the day catch up of what's been going on, how are your meetings? Okay, great, back to it. But we just make it a point to date each other.
Meghan, in my opinion, is a pathological liar. The way that she almost creates enjoyment in the lies that she's telling, but her body gives it away every single time without a shadow of a doubt. The reenactment is another one with her. She reenacts the story, which again shows I mean, what's this with the clicking? It's like, we're back, yeah, back. It's like this again. I don't think Drew's buying it. I really don't buy her face. I don't know Drew's baseline, but I just have a feeling she's just not buying this story. And I think this whole dating each other is a fantasy. It's a lie.
I always make it a point.
Straight away, we have the non-eye contact again, and then reenacting. This is something she does time and time again. This is especially bizarre because she's talking about her children.
When I'm traveling,
Here we have her acting out reading the book. She also shoulder shrugs, which can imply uncertainty or a desire to distance themselves from the responsibility of their words. And again, she's looking down when she's not giving eye contact to Drew, recalling the story.
Can't do bedtime stories with my kids.
And here we have the shoulder shrug together, along with her open palms, is that this is a need to have whatever she's talking about. She wants this to be believed. And watch again as she goes to mention the children. She looks down and she eye blocks. Here we go.
Because Archie and Lily are just 3 and 5.
Again, shakes her head no when she's talking about Murchie Button and Betty Bucks. She shakes his head no, and then she's looking towards the audience, I think, to see if anyone's believing what she's saying. Again, eye blocks. She looks down after she talks about their ages.
5, so I'll always pack a really thin book and I'll videotape myself reading it.
See, again with the reenactment. But in all fairness, who takes a book away with them, records themselves reading the book, then sends the recording to the person who's looking after the alleged children? I'm sorry, you would either record it before you go away or you'd FaceTime. This is one of the most bizarrest stories I've ever heard her say. And look at the way that she's looking at Drew, as if to say, yes, please believe what I'm saying, because it's not true.
So whoever's with them are...
I think she slipped up here saying whomever's with them, because that's a bizarre thing to say. So why wouldn't you say the grandparent, the nanny, or their father? It's why would you're depersonalizing the person. So she slipped up and then quickly corrected herself, which you'll see in a minute, where she then says H. But again, she's shaking her head no. So then to me, this is an indicator that what she's talking about isn't true. But like I said, nobody takes a book away and records themselves to send a video. You would just let the person who's looking after them read them a story.
Papa can say, here's Mama reading your bedtime story.
Again, she looks away when she's lying. And she does this huge amount of eye blocking here. But again, why would you be sending a recording to your partner? And again, like I say, if you watch her eyes, you will see her pupils move side to side. This is an indication she's scanning the person she's talking to. And this happens also when you're looking to see if what you're saying is resonating, if they're reacting to you in a positive way.
You find ways to show up for each other. And if that's the one thing that I...
Watch how she starts to look up. And again, this is picturing what she wants to talk about. And then it's an indicator that it's something she's preparing, or she's actually prepared this. And again, I feel this is a fantasy. In an ideal world, she wants this to happen. It just doesn't.
can convey through the show or through As Ever as a brand. I want people to know you can show up for each other because...
Again, here we have her eye blocking, shaking her head no when she says, I want people, want to show up for each other. She just doesn't align. And this is very classic with narcissism. This is love, how love bombing is. They say all the right things, they think you want to hear, but subconsciously they just don't align with it. So you see a lot of her shaking her head no. She's not giving eye contact again, looking down. I mean, look, it's all there. She does not align with what she's talking about. And that happens in so many things with her as a person. I mean, it's just so obvious. And then she will look up to see if what she's talking about is being believed. And here you have, and this is to see if Drew believes her.
How good it feels when someone shows up for you.
And now see the difference when she does believe something, when she gets behind something, the enforcement of the nodding yes, you see it here.
This is Megan. Oh, hi. Nice to meet you. Wait, do you want to try a cookie while you're here? Oh, okay. Yeah, here you go.
So you can tell this isn't scripted to some degree because this was unexpected. I think Drew felt a little bit embarrassed for her assistant because Meghan seemed to sort of take control here, and it's not even her show. So it was sort of, in a way, forcing the assistant to sort of agree to something that she probably wasn't particularly very comfortable. Like, do you want to try one of these? And she's like, oh, okay. If I, you can see by Drew's face that she was like, oh, poor thing.
Megan and I work together. Tasty? Yeah.
Narcissists will do one of two things. They will either try to love bomb to charm a person, or that person will be devalued. And I think that this is the sort of person that she's trying to impress Drew. So she's trying to be nice, but you can tell by her face that she's not particularly very impressed by this person at all.
Oh, great. Really good. They're really good. Oh, how so.
So Meghan, giving no thought to the fact that she's putting this woman on the spot, asking her if she likes something. She's sort of standing there waiting for her to say, yes, they're good. And of course the woman's going to say that because she seems polite. But you can see Drew's face here. She's like, oh, I'm so sorry kind of thing. And you can sort of see by this touch, it's almost like, oh, don't worry, it's okay.
Hey, oh, that's beautiful. Nice to meet you, Meg.
So she goes straight in to grab the picture. And then it's like, oh, nice to meet you, Meg. Well, her name was Meghan, but she changes her name, which to me is rude.
Oh my gosh. Look at your little face. Oh, that's so sweet. That is so special. And you had it here. Oh.
This was definitely not scripted. Meghan did not like this. She sounded very condescending, even when she says, oh, it's so sweet that you had it here. Look at her distancing body language. She steps away. She's touching her hair, hand on her hip. She is not happy now with the attention now not being about her. It's about Drew meeting Diana.
I was lucky enough.
That's really special.
It means so much to me to have met such an incredible human being that transcended everything. It was the honor of my life.
Meghan's gone into a slightly defensive pose now with her hands in front of her. She is not happy about this moment because it's now not about her at all. So we just have the frozen grin, but just, yeah, there's no warmth in her there.
Oh my gosh, well, I will tell H that for sure. And yeah, okay. Cool.
Meghan has got zero interest in telling H, but again, dehumanizes him. I think this is a case of putting Drew in her place a little bit. Again, she moves away from her. She shakes her head no. She's got zero attention in doing this. But also, if you've got such a loving husband, wouldn't he be watching this? But she doesn't ask her about it. I feel sad for Drew here because I think Drew was genuinely pleased with this moment. So as you can see by those clips, there were so many moments that she just gave herself away. And what's interesting is that when I put some of these clips up on TikTok, so I do separate them and I put them up on TikTok, the way her fan base twist and try to manipulate the people that are watching these in Meghan's favour is quite amusing, in all fairness. You know, I get the standard. You're not qualified to do this. You don't know her, so you don't, or I blink a lot, so it doesn't necessarily mean that she's lying. Well, as you know, guys, I blink a lot, so no, it doesn't. But what I have said in so many areas is you have to understand a person's baseline. And it's not just one thing. It's a collection of things that we sort of band together. So when you're looking at Meghan, when she's being what I call when I believe she's being dishonest, firstly, because the story is just so fantastical, it's crazy. I really do believe that she has this fantasy of what she wants her relationship to look like. And she creates that fantasy in what she's talking about with Drew in this instance. But you can see, because what she does is that she looks up. Now, there's been a lot of dispute on memory recall, on what's truthful and what's not truthful. But even when you watch me, bearing in mind that the video is flipped, because as I'm recording and looking into the camera, my TandT sign is round the wrong way. So if you were viewing this as is, then TandT would be backwards. So what I have to do is I flip it. So when I'm recalling something, you will often see me do this. And when people do that generally, and I'm looking to my left, but as you see it on camera, it will look that I'm looking to my right. So for all intents and purposes, that could seem like I'm being dishonest. But this is my baseline. So it's because the camera's flipped. So it's very important to understand somebody's baseline first. So when you're looking at somebody like Meghan, for example, because obviously I have studied her baseline, it's not just the one thing that she does. She's breathy. She adds things into the conversation that are just not necessary. For example, when she's talking about the book, well, when I'm traveling, I take a very thin book. I pack a very thin book, so I can record myself on video to send to whomever. I mean, who's looking after the children, right? That is unnecessary information. Firstly, also critical thinking tells you that firstly you would record before you went away. If this is what you were doing, you would record before you went away. Secondly, why not FaceTime? Okay, you could argue the fact that maybe FaceTime the children when you're free. If you're busy, then you may not have time to FaceTime. But it's the thin book. These are examples of putting too much information in that's not necessary. And so she does that. She clenches her jaw. She rapid blinks. This is another one. And again, this is about baseline. If she did this, like when I talk, you can see that I blink a lot, regardless of what I'm talking about. And it's even things that just in general, I blink. And that's because I've said that I have very dry eyes. So I blink a lot. So that's my baseline. So you would try to understand that. But the problem you have is with Meghan, there's just so many. And the other thing as well, the biggest thing with her as well, is that when she is talking about something that you would generally see as a positive thing, like I'm sort of doing now, and I've just noticed myself doing it, is that she does this. And one of the big examples of that is when she says to Drew, I will show H this, or I will tell H about this. Watch, as she said it, which is in the video. She says, I will tell H about this. Now that tells you that she's not. She's got no intention of doing that because, subconsciously, that's not what she's... So this is a surface thing she's saying, but subconsciously, that's not what she's going to do. But the other thing as well is if you are, say, at home with if your husband is at home and you're on the Drew Barrymore show, why would you not have him watching? Why would he not be there supporting you? So she'd be like, oh my gosh, H is what, I hate the way she calls him H, but, Harry's watching right now, so you can just say hi, but she didn't even ask also Drew about anything. It's like, oh my God, what was this? What was it like to meet her? This is, asking Drew about her experience. She doesn't do that. She does not like this at all. And the other way of telling is because she backs away from her. So her body language, and she kind of does this, and then she goes to sort of touch the claw, and you see her try and almost grab the picture at one point as well. Lots of little things that she does that indicate the level of that she's not being completely honest. And that's how you know. But a lot of the time when you're showing these things, unless you're literally doing a point by point sort of description of everything, people will jump to that, well, you don't know her personally, so you can't say that. You don't have to know somebody personally. Hence why profilers have been using this style of interrogation for years, because it works. It may not be specific to absolutely everything, but generally this type of thing does work. You can get a level of understanding as to whether a person is being honest or not. But the biggest thing is your instincts. If you're listening to somebody or whatever it is, and your instincts tell you that something is off, then you can pretty much guarantee that that is the case. Now, it doesn't always necessarily mean that person is coming from a bad place, but it could be that they're being dishonest because there's something going on for them. They have to be, they have to sort of lie in that moment or whatever it is. But it's trusting your instincts, and what those instincts are telling you is you need to dig a little bit deeper here. It's not necessarily that person is doing anything wrong maliciously, but there's something off. We need to dig a bit further here to find out what's going on. And that, in a way, is what I did with Meghan. When I had that engagement interview, when I watched her, my instincts were literally screaming out that something was wrong with this. This is something's not right here. So I then made it a point of, it was more of a sort of a hobby and interest to kind of find out what is really going on with her. So I started to study her. And I do this with people when I want to talk about somebody, I don't just see something on the surface and then go, oh yeah, I'm just going to talk about that now. I delve, I use my critical thinking. I look at other interviews they've done, other things that they've done, and don't just use that as an example, but it starts to form a picture. You can have people that are on interviews that are incredibly anxious, and then when they're anxious, they can come across rude even. But then when you see them in other areas, when they're less anxious, they come across a little bit better. So then you're kind of going, okay, so then they're different there. So let's look at another area and see where if they're rude in another area. And if they're not, then what you generally start to form there is if they don't handle interviews very well. They don't handle being spoken to. So they probably talk very fast, or they don't sort of take breaths, they don't breathe properly in between talking. There's other things that can happen, or sometimes they can come across quite blunt, and that can seem quite rude. It's looking at lots of general things to make you sort of realize, okay, this is the sort of picture that I'm forming about her. Meghan, in my opinion, is a pathological liar. She's not a compulsive liar, because compulsive liars generally have an indication that they recognize that there's some element that does this, and they can have some self-actualization that they do it. And there's also, sometimes it can come from trauma or things like that. But I believe Meghan is a pathological liar. She will lie like she breathes. She lies about things that do not necessarily need to be lied about. But I generally feel that her and Harry are not together. I've said this for a long time. I think they have contractual agreements that they have to come together. I think that Harry is too proud to admit that he's failed in his relationship. I genuinely think that she is not letting go until that she's created something that she doesn't need him anymore, and then she will discard him. But I think that they don't live together, and I really do not feel that they're romantically involved together. I genuinely feel that there is some manipulation, possibly blackmail going on where she's concerned. And I've said that I believe that's also in connection to the children. I do not believe those two have biological children together. And I will do videos in regards to the footage of the children. So that will be another video that I will be doing. So this is just on those on the Drew Barrymore show. So let me know what you think in the comments. Do you kind of agree, disagree? Do you want me to do a part 2 in where I saw some other things in regards to Drew Barrymore, the show? They're just the 3 videos that I picked up. I think it was the Diana one, the one where she talks about their relationship, but they still date and have lunch together. Oh my God. Yeah, so also what's coming up, so just to let you know, so yes, I will be discussing the videos on the children, and also her people interview. That's another video that is also coming up. Don't forget to go across to my bite-sized tea, where you will get short videos, bite-sized chunks of bite-sized chunks of videos, but packed full of knowledge and information. Thank you also to the amazing feedback I got on my spur of the moment point of view video that I did of Meghan's show. I was very nervous about doing it because it is something that I generally don't do, purely and simply because I do like to do the body language and behaviour and talk about those things. But sometimes I feel like I want to do something that's a little bit fun. And this is part of my personality. I do have a sense of humour. And I do know that when I'm watching some of the things, when I watch them, that is how I react. And I was trying to think of ways to talk about her show because I couldn't show it. And it's, you know, and there were people in the comments that were like, I don't understand why you've done this and you've not shown her footage. I can't. I was blocked. I literally tried every which way to upload her show to show you what I'm talking about, and I was blocked every time and got a copyright strike. And I didn't want to keep risking it in case it really did affect my channel. So I stopped trying. So that's why you're not going to get any footage on here in regards to her show, because I don't want to risk my channel. So a lot of you said that you really did enjoy the point of view thing, and a lot of you said you would like me to do it again. So I will find another episode, and if you have a specific episode that you would like me to do my point of view on, then drop that in the comments below and I will look into doing that. It might have to wait till I'm back off holiday because I'm away for 2 weeks. But if you want me to do like a series in a sense where I'm doing those, then I can definitely incorporate that in, and as well as doing the other stuff that I do as well. So you'll kind of get a bit of everything. But yeah, let me know. So in the meantime, don't forget to bring in your add in your question. Email me. I've had a few questions that have come across already. I'm not always able to get to all of the comments, so I might miss your question. So email me if you want a question to go into the giveaway where I give you an Amazon gift card. So it's a member and a subscriber. You will get, so 2 questions will be going up at the end of the month. And those 2 that will go up on the channel that I will answer, you will also get an Amazon gift card from me. So yeah. So don't forget to not miss your chance on that. And that will be happening every single month. And that's what I'm doing as a thank you to you for supporting what I do here. You do have to be subscribed to me for at least a month to be eligible, because that way then it's not just going to be about people that subscribe, then do the question in the hope that they're going to get chosen and then unsubscribe again. So it's just loyalty to the people that are supporting me here, as it means a lot to me. So yeah, so that's it. So don't forget to, like I say, like and subscribe. If you'd like to treat me to a cuppa to support what I do here, then please do. The biggest thing for me is please share my videos, watch the videos, support my other channel, Bite-Sized Tea, because I'm trying to get that monetized right now, because this one just keeps getting targeted. So hopefully then I can get that one monetized, and I can also then use that to run my free therapy program. So this is what I'm really trying to do here, is really try and get that channel up and running. So please support me in that. You've got my Amazon wish list and my PO box you can utilize if you want to contact me or you would like to send me something. If you have a little channel that you've got and you would like me also to help promote that and support that, then please again just contact me and I will do that as much as I possibly can. So yes, that being said, I will see you in the next video. So as always, I love you, I appreciate you, but most of all, I respect you. Take care. Bye-bye. Mwah.